People haven't really done that.
Like many Americans, New York University chaplains Imam Khalid Latif and Rabbi Yehuda remember exactly where they were on that morning 15 years ago.
I was an undergrad at New York University on September 11th in 2001.
Latif was a sophomore and had just arrived for Arabic class when a security guard came and told the students to evacuate. They went to nearby Washington Square Park, where thousands had gathered to watch the fire at the World Trade Center.
There's a lot of noise, there was a lot of commotion. People were trying to figure out what was going on. And all of a sudden, we were hit by this very heavy silence as we watched the second plane fly into the towers. It felt like an eternity, but it was really just seconds.
Sarna was also in New York at the library of Yeshiva University when the towers fell.
I was in rabbinical school at Yeshiva University and doing my internship at a synagogue in Riverdale. The senior rabbi of the congregation, Rabbi Avi Weiss, was known to try to bring healing to places and situations of great distress.
Weiss went to the Ground Zero area. He invited Sarna to come with him.
I watched as he went over to the people who looked the most despondent, tired, grieving, and he just hugged them. And he said, I'm here, I'm a rabbi, I'm just here to say God bless you. That was the moment where I received my ordination. It's about human connection. So I would say 9/11 was very foundational for what I see as my life's mission.
Latif says the events of 9/11 were pivotal in shaping his mission as well. In the aftermath of the attacks, he and other Muslims felt a backlash of blame.
My father said, we'd be more comfortable if you didn't cover your head anymore. You weren't visibly identifiable as a Muslim. I didn't understand why at a time when people had so many questions, many of us were taking steps back to not answer their questions.
He says support from friends of other faiths gave him the courage to speak out about his Muslim beliefs.
I, along with many of my classmates at that time, we just made a decision to be more proactive, to tell people this is what we believe in, this is who we are, this is what our values actually are.
Today, Latif and Sarna are leaders at NYU's Global Center for Academic and Spiritual Life, which has become a national model for university interfaith programs.
My community was very much in our own Muslim bubble, so everyone I was interacting with was definitely Muslim. But interacting with people from different religious faiths, I never really did that.
At NYU, students are encouraged to attend each other's religious services and projects like the Muslim-Jewish Juma Shabbat experience. Senior Sana Mayat says that has enhanced her own Islamic practice.
And I really love the concept of Shabbat. I really love the idea of it. I think it's a really beautiful thing to kind of disconnect and tune everything out and really center yourself in what is important. I pray 5 times a day, so that's 5 times a day where I'm supposed to tune everything out and really concentrate on prayer and God and what's important. But how invested am I in that I'm still not thinking about, that text message that I got on my phone or that email that I have to send.
There are interfaith clubs to foster dialogue, and there are joint service projects, such as when students of different religious backgrounds came together to help rebuild homes after Hurricane Katrina and after recent tornadoes.
What we found is that those kinds of disasters don't just knock down homes, but they can break down barriers. And the experience of acting out on a shared value really bonds people.
When you're sitting and painting a wall for 10 hours, you're going to talk to the person next to you, and you have a common goal and a common mission, and you get to ask questions, and you just relate to people as people.
The leaders say they're trying to promote a new vision of interfaith relations.
Interfaith interaction today can't be what many of us have done with it in the past, where it's just a panel discussion, people getting up on a stage, talking about similarities for an hour, and then everybody goes back to their own homes.
We're concerned not about what it says in the books, but what people are saying in the street. And therefore, the kind of engagement that we're looking for is very much personal, face-to-face.
The two men model that in their own close personal friendship. When Latif got married 5 years ago, it was on the Jewish Sabbath, so Sarna, who's an Orthodox Jew, walked more than 80 blocks to be there. Today they live with their families in the same building.
Our wives are friends, our children are friends. We, at one point, even shared a nanny. Our kids, my children, don't know anything different.
I think my own relationship with God has been heavily impacted by his relationship with his faith and his relationship with God.
You can be deeply embedded and enriched by a religious community and still be excited about collaborating with people who are of a different faith community.
The Muslims love Khalid, and the Jewish community loves Rabbi Sarna. So when you see the two people we love most coming together, it just opens up opportunity for everyone else.
They embody everything that the student groups are trying to do.
Latif and Sarna believe having strong relationships makes it possible to confront difficult issues such as religion and terrorism or the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
We don't believe in avoiding difficult conversations. We believe that difficult conversations are best had between friends.
You gain a level of respect for someone and you know someone. So it's hard to be resentful of someone's opinions. It's hard to argue when you know a little bit about someone's family. It promotes a better dialogue.
In their work, Latif and Sarna say the lessons of 9/11 are still very evident. Last year, during Pope Francis's visit to the U.S., Latif helped lead the Interfaith service at the 9/11 memorial.
Through our knowing of each other today, let us move beyond a mere toleration of our differences and work towards a much-needed celebration of them.
15 years after 9/11, both leaders say they're concerned that divisions and anti-religious bigotry seem to be on the rise in many areas.
It's a return of a kind of hateful rhetoric that we thought we had buried. We thought it was over. It's very sad. It's scary. But for me, it's more sad than scary.
Still, Sarna says the current climate has renewed their purpose of helping young people find a different way of doing interfaith relations.
There are so many young people who are raring to go. They want to do this.
For many, it's like, well, where do I start? And, your starting can just be with one other person. You might not impact 1 million people or 10 million people, but if you can bring good just to one individual, you can impact one heart, that can make all of the difference.
And they say that can bring hope to a world forever changed by 9/11. I'm Kim Lawton in New York.